The reason I think, if you like, parliaments have become interested in this question about disinformation distribution is a concern that through social media platforms, as for many people, the primary distributors of news and information, that there was a much greater prevalence of disinformation. So the news and information people might be receiving may too often be weighted towards things that simply weren't true, and that can cause real harms to society, but also harms to individuals as well. The issue with the definition of the term disinformation is that it is extraordinarily broad. Now, I think the efforts of regulators and legislators has been to try and establish clear lines of accountability and liability for social media platforms, to reject the idea that they are neutral distributors of content without any commercial interest or stake in what they are distributing. That is clearly not true. They're profiting from the content on their platforms. If they feel they can make more money out of fake news than real news, then we should know about that and be concerned about that. But they clearly should have a responsibility for content they actively curate, promote, and serve to users in order to make money out of that engagement. Now, within the description of what you might include in disinformation are some things that are clearly extremely bad and already illegal. Fraud is a form of disinformation. Foreign state interference in elections is illegal in most democratic countries, and is clearly something where distributors of content on their platforms that are allowing that to happen need to take clear lines of responsibility for it. Disinformation can be wrapped around campaigns of harassment or incitement. And again, in most countries, those acts break legal thresholds as well. So it's right that we should regulate there and ask companies to take responsibility for content on their platforms that breaches those areas of legal liability. What I think is very difficult for politicians to do, and not wise for them to do, is to try and arbitrate on political statements. I think at the end of the day, politicians have to be held to account for the things that they say and do, and they can be held to account through the ballot box or through other measures if that crosses more severe lines. And one of the areas where as countries have tried to legislate in this space, it has caused the greatest difficulty, is in believing that parliaments are trying to arbitrate on free speech. I think that is not what we've tried to do. What we've tried to do is make sure that the laws as they apply to speech in the offline world apply online as well, and that there are clear accountabilities and liabilities and responsibilities for the platforms to enforce that as well, and robust systems run by regulators that can take active measures against those companies if they don't.